that's kind of a transition. Okay, do I have your attention now? Yet? Too long? Better start talking, better get it out. Okay. No. There's lots of Christmas shit to see. Uh, Relationship upgrade. I want to make a video about this. I feel like God has hit the master reset button on relationships. Me being in relationships. The history of Brandon being in relationships before was always, he always felt like, and this being a lost boy in the dark in such great need, going into relationships and trying to be what other people want him to be, or what he thinks he's supposed to be for them, because he has to have a place with those people. If he doesn't find his place with those people, it's only a matter of time before he's pushed back out into, the lost world or whatever. And he doesn't want to be in the lost world, because in the lost world, or in that lonely place, he is tormented by like critical spirits that are just like, it's your fault they pushed you away. It's your fault because you didn't need to try harder. You need to be better. You need to be more blah, blah, blah for them. But in this way, this cycle, he lost his voice. So then relationships stopped being of anything good for him, because he felt like in order for him to even be at the table, he had to have some kind of usefulness. Especially with women, man. It was like this deep fear of rejection by them caused me to conform to however I thought they wanted me to be. You can't really be a man with a woman whenever you need that woman to see the man. And I desperately needed the woman to see the man every time, because I couldn't see myself. Because I was wandering around in the dark, being tormented by critical spirits when I was alone and when I was with people, just over and over and over and over and over. And then I get into a relationship with God, and he takes me through what appears to be the reverse thing you should do. Meaning the critical spirits and all of this thing, it heats up even more and more and more, which draws up this authentic need, this heart cry from darkness to know a great light. I think in this place you have to come to know of your need. A need will be the precursor to being set free. Right? I didn't have any other options. This is how my relationships were going to be if I didn't receive the truth. And so he comes in after a process of turning up the heat. And I'm finding myself now in a new state of being in relationships with people where I'm not moved by them in ways that I used to be moved, because I thought that I always had to put on what they were feeling and what they were thinking and all of that. Or I need to put my perspective above theirs, or my feelings above theirs. It's like, no one has to be right and no one has to be wrong. The master reset button, truly a master reset for me. I'm like, it's not about that. It's not about you being wrong. It's not about me being right. It's not about any of those things anymore. It's not about you trying to be something for me or me trying to be something for you. And I think because I was in such a place of great suffering, feeling like there wasn't a space for me to just be myself with the people, right? So I don't feel like I was able to open up. Now that hurt place has become a place of healing for other people to come and be themselves with me, because I hold great value on that space. And I see now that that space is actually quite rare for someone to just be as they are. Because to have someone, because this is a work of the Lord. I will boast in my weakness, because he has done a miraculous thing in my life. I have a confidence in relationships that makes me kind of set free from how they're perceiving me, right? So I can actually be there for them without needing anything in return. And it also gives me the liberty to be myself more fully, because I'm not having this fear of rejection come and try to conform the way I think around them, or the way I feel around them, or what to say or what not to say. It's like, no, I don't have to walk on eggshells anymore. I don't have to do any of this shit anymore. And I will say it was by the grace of God. that he has hit the master reset button on relationships, where now it's no longer about what it was about before, because there's not fear. I'm not held down by fear the same way. I have dealt with the critical spirits. They seem to still linger around. I guess they're doing, some last minute touches or something. I don't know. Okay. But I know what I'm getting. And I feel like I'm experiencing the first fruits of this. My relationships are going to be completely different now. And I think that's going to make it difficult, I think, for people to have a relationship with me, most people, I think, because we kind of have this normalized darkness concerning relationships and how relationships are supposed to work, and the giving and the receiving and the management of it all, and just all the fear that I think that conforms relationships and our perspective that we've only seen this is how relationships are supposed to be. It's like, well, I'm throwing all that away and saying, no, I'm gonna write my own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing here, because I get to just be myself fully, right? Without being like, if you don't accept myself the way I am fully, it's okay if you leave. It won't even be like I have to blame you or something. Why? Because God has given me strength. Because God has given me confidence. Because in my place of need, where other human beings couldn't validate me to the extent that I needed to be validated, in a dark place, tormented by spirits, that lost boy cried out to God, and God heard him. And he said, I have a plan for this. In a sense, you will become neutral with people, because you won't be affected by their back and forth, and you will be less affected by your back and forth, because you will be removed from yourself, right? You will no longer need the same way, because your desperation has found a home in me. And now you're not looking for that person to externally validate that home that you have, because that home is so secure. The roots of love have grown so deep where now you are set free, where the quality of relationship doesn't have to do with that person. I mean, it helps whenever there's harmony, right? But I don't have to agree with what they're agreeing with. And they don't have to agree with me. They don't have to conform to me, and I don't have to conform to them at all. And I'm telling you, I believe this is a rare space. Very rare, actually. You're just like, I get to be, because you don't even know. Like, I think because we're so used to putting on the mask and feeling like we have to fit in and blend in and not rock the boat, or maybe our whole thing is to rock the boat. Like, we're doing all these things that we wouldn't have done if we felt like there was a safe environment for us to be. But in this safe environment, that is really the safety that he's instilling in me. I don't have to try to keep anything together. I'm being set free from relationships the way that they used to be. That is an amazing thing for me, especially when it comes to women or whatever. I feel like it would always end up sexual, because I didn't know how for it to not be any other kind of way, because I needed something. I needed something so desperately. I needed the approval, because I didn't feel like I had it anywhere else, because I was completely in the dark about myself. Blindly walking around and saying, hey, do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? And then they would see something and I would say, all right, I need to become what you're talking about, or make sure that I work on what you're talking about, because you see something of value in me, right? And if I don't do that thing that you're talking about, I'm not valuable. And this is what a person would think whenever they're so blind about themselves, when they're in that needy place. And that needy place is found a home in God. And over time, being established and rooted in his love, it's becoming a powerful thing. It's like becoming something else, and it is setting me free.